Hey everyone, now that you've had some time to look at the videos that I linked on YouTube, I want to go over a bit of this myself, go over it with you. I'm going to use symotter.org. So this is an excellent resource for studying symmetry and group theory that we're going to move into. I'll start on this side. I'll start here with the symmetry tutorial, and we'll go through and look at some examples of each one of the symmetry elements and symmetry operations. Um, I don't particularly like, a lot of people start with identity. For me, I think the easiest one to start talking about is the proper rotation, because that's something that we can actually do to a physical object. So we have water here, and the water has a symmetry element, which is, I click the little check mark here, so it has this line that goes through the oxygen. So the line is the symmetry element. This is a C2 rotational axis. So the little line here is the element. And then if I click play here, that is the operation. Okay, they're similar, they're related to one another, but definitely they're different things. The symmetry element is the actual line, plane, or point in the molecule, whereas the symmetry operation is actually doing the thing. Okay, so rotations are easy, and this means this C2, this is half of a full turn. A full turn would be 360 degrees. This is a 180-degree turn. This is half a turn. If we did it twice, we would end up back with the original orientation of everything. We do the C2. If we did the C2 again, we would end up back with the original orientation. So proper rotation, not too bad. Probably the next easiest one then for us to talk about are reflections. For these, so for rotations, it was a line. Here it's going to be a plane that we're talking about. And I'm just going to pick any of these three planes here. And this plane cuts through the nitrogen, it cuts through one of the oxygens, and it reflects this top hydrogen into this bottom hydrogen. So watch it go. Okay, it leaves this one alone, it leaves this one alone, and it swaps out the top hydrogen and the bottom hydrogen. So again, the symmetry element is the mirror plane. Symmetry operation is actually doing the reflection. Next one we'll talk about here is inversion. Inversion is, it's kind of going to look like a double reflection. We do inversion. The inversion operation happens around a point. And I'm going to click this little highlight here. So the inversion happens around this center atom. So this is a platinum, and it has 4 chlorides around it. And when I hit inversion, okay, it's kind of crazy looking. Everything gets sucked into the middle and explodes back out. So this chlorine, which is on top, comes down here and becomes the bottom one. The one that's on the right becomes the left one. So they all swap positions. So what was up becomes down, what was down becomes up, what was right becomes left, and what was left becomes right. They all swap around. Identity is the one that a lot of people start with. I don't really like it. It's the most boring one. So it's the do nothing to the molecule is one way of thinking about it. The other would be to say that we do a whole 360 rotation would be another way to think about it. We move the molecule all the way around. Either one of those are good ways of thinking about this. And so you'll notice these are all grayed out because to do the identity, the easiest thing to say is that we just don't do anything at all. Okay, none of those I don't think are too bad to think about. The most difficult one for people to get is probably this improper rotation. The improper rotation is rotating the molecule, doing a CN rotation followed by reflection. And for me, actually, I like this methane here is probably the easiest one to see. So this methane molecule doesn't have any C4 axis in it. So there's no axis that I can do 1/4 of a turn or a 90-degree turn and have the molecule be indistinguishable. But there is this thing called an S4 axis. And so here goes this weird thing. It has a line and a plane because you do a rotation and then a reflection. And all right, so take a look at this one going. It does a turn and then a reflection. So this rotates by 90 degrees and then it reflects through a perpendicular mirror plane. So those are the the 6 types that you guys will need to know. 5 types: identity, reflection, inversion, proper rotation, and improper rotation. And I suggest you go through this tutorial yourself. You look at the symmetry elements, which will be the point, line, or plane about which it happens, and then the symmetry operation. One thing I really often will ask people to do on a quiz or exam is I might go in and label these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I would label the atoms and then ask you where the labels end up after I do the S4 operation or a reflection or an inversion operation. All right, I'll stop this video here and then we'll go into point group assignments in the next video.